Have you ever felt like life has placed a weight on your shoulders that is just too heavy to carry? Have you ever reached a point where you looked at the sky and whispered, "I can't do this anymore"? Most people think that when things get incredibly hard, it's a sign to stop. They think the pain is a red light. But what if I told you that the moment you feel like giving up is actually the most important moment of your entire life? Today, I want to share a story about a young man named Leo. His story will show you exactly why the hardest part of your journey is actually the doorstep to your greatest victory. If you're struggling right now, don't move. This is for you. Leo lived in a small, dusty town where opportunities were as rare as rain. He didn't come from money, and he didn't have any special connections. All Leo had was a dream. He wanted to be a master builder. He didn't just want to build houses, he wanted to create structures that would last for centuries. For years, Leo worked 3 jobs. He swept floors in the morning, hauled bricks in the afternoon, and studied architecture by a dim candle at night. His friends would go out, they would laugh, and they would tell him, "Leo, why are you working so hard? Life is meant to be enjoyed. Relax a little." But Leo had a vision. He finally saved enough to start his first big project, a community center for the children in his town. He put every single penny he had into it. He put his heart, his sweat, and his soul into the foundation. For months, everything went well. The walls were rising, people started to notice. Leo felt like he was finally winning. He felt like the hard part of his life was finally over. But life has a funny way of testing us right when we think we've made it. One night, a massive storm hit the town, the worst in 50 years. The ground turned to mud, and the river nearby overflowed. By the time the sun rose, Leo's project wasn't just damaged, it was gone. The walls had collapsed into a pile of wet clay and broken timber. Leo stood in the mud, looking at the ruins of his dream. He didn't cry, he didn't scream. He just felt empty. He felt like a fool. That morning, the townspeople walked by. Some looked at him with pity. Others whispered, "We told him it was too much for one man." Leo went home and sat in the dark for 3 days. His hands were blistered, his bank account was empty, and his spirit was crushed. This is the moment we all face. This is the too hard moment. It's that moment when you realize that if you quit now, nobody would blame you. In fact, people expect you to quit. It's the easier path. It's the path that stops the pain. Leo's father, an old man with rough hands, sat down next to him. He didn't offer a hug or a motivational speech. He just said, "Leo, do you know why most people are average?" Leo didn't look up. "Because they aren't lucky?" "No," his father said. "It's because when life becomes too hard, they believe the lie. They believe that too hard means impossible. They stop right at the finish line because they are too tired to see it." Leo looked at his father. "But I have nothing left to give, Dad. I'm exhausted. I'm broke. It's too hard." His father smiled sadly. "The fact that it is hard is the proof that you're doing something worth doing. The wind doesn't blow against a man who is standing still. It only blows against the man who is moving forward." Leo realized that for the past 3 days, he had been waiting for the pain to go away before he started again. But he understood now. The pain wouldn't go away until he moved. The next morning, Leo didn't wait for the sun. He went back to the site while it was still dark. The mud was still thick. The air was cold. He picked up a single shovel. His muscles screamed. His mind told him, "You're wasting your time. Another storm will come. You'll just fail again." But Leo started to talk back to his mind. Every time a negative thought came, he answered it with a strike of the shovel. "You're too tired." Clang! He threw a broken beam aside. "You're too poor." Clang! He cleared a patch of dirt. "You're a failure." Clang! he laid the first new stone. Weeks passed. Leo was thinner. He was tired in a way that sleep couldn't fix. There were days when he only had enough energy to move 10 bricks, just 10. But he refused to let the day end with 0. One afternoon, when he was trying to lift a heavy support beam by himself, his legs gave out. He fell into the dirt. He stayed there for a long time, his face pressed against the earth. He was at his absolute limit. He couldn't even lift his arms. In that silence, he heard a sound. It was the sound of footsteps. He looked up and saw a group of young men from the village. Then he saw the shopkeepers. Then he saw the very people who had mocked him. One of them stepped forward and said, "We watched you every morning. We thought you would stop after the storm. Then we thought you would stop when you ran out of money. But you just kept coming back. We figured if you aren't quitting on us, we shouldn't quit on you." They didn't just bring words. They brought tools, they brought supplies, they brought strength. With 50 pairs of hands working together, the building didn't just go up, it flew up. But it wasn't the building that was the real miracle. It was Leo. He had become a leader not by his success, but by his refusal to stop when things were too hard. Today, that building stands as the strongest structure in the town. It has survived many storms since then, and every time someone feels like giving up, they go and look at the foundation of that center. So why should you never stop when life becomes too hard? Because hard is not a wall. Hard is a filter. Life throws challenges at you to see if you really want what you say you want. If the goal was easy, everyone would have it. And if everyone had it, it wouldn't be valuable. The struggle you are going through right now, it is preparing you. It is strengthening your spiritual muscles. If you quit now, you keep the pain, but you lose the reward. If you keep going, the pain will eventually fade, but the strength you gained will stay with you forever. When you feel like you've hit your limit, remember, that is usually the moment the tide is about to turn. You aren't being punished, you are being prepared. Don't look at how far you have to go. Just look at the next step. Just move one brick. Just breathe one more time. Because the only way to truly fail is to stop. As long as you are moving, even if you are crawling, you are winning. Keep going. The world is waiting to see what happens when you refuse to quit.